My name is Sean. I have Asperger's and Tourette syndrome and post-traumatic stress disorder. Let's dig right in. This is Dan with the Aspie World. Let's hear what he has to say, and I'll break it down for you how damaging it is.
All right, another example of how autistic people
Sorry.
experience rejection sensitive dysphoria. A sensitivity
This
to
is not it.
perceived or actual rejection. So we're sensitive.
Where the fuck is it? This might be it. All right.
I'm talking about 3 mistakes that autistic people make daily, right? And it's not their fault. Still,
These are not mistakes. They are made daily, but these are not mistakes. These are trauma reactions. These are the things that we are all taught, all of us who are in the mental health system, nursing system, doctors, teachers. We're taught that these things that he's saying, well, let him finish.
I'm talking about 3 mistakes that autistic people make daily, right? And it's not their fault. Still, autistic people make these mistakes because they're unaware that they're making these mistakes, right? So,
They're not mistakes, first of all, and we're aware that we do them. I have Tourette syndrome. I do this. Sometimes just once. Sometimes like this. Sometimes like this. I've had people beat me up because they thought I was on drugs. I've had people beat me up because they thought I was flirting with them or with their girlfriend. I hate violence. But then again, I live in the United States. You live in Great Britain, right? You got a lot of the same issues. A woman can stare at you like you're a rapist because you exist. But if you look her direction, you might get in trouble. Now you say not to apologize. You know what happens if we don't apologize? Now mind you, this is a sign of long-term abuse. People who have been abused long-term, we learn to say we're sorry and take the blame for everything that people do to us.
the first big mistake is not carrying headphones with you. Oh my goodness.
Do you know how many... This is a restricted call. It's one of many that I get. Harassment phone calls over and over and over again, Dan. Because of abuse. Because of abuse that I had to speak out about on YouTube and Facebook. Abuse that I've been reaching out for years about, because there are people who don't have family members or friends who are going to be out with them. There are those of us who have to be afraid going outside every day. You're young. You're actually pretty good looking. And I'm not saying that because I'm into dudes. I'm saying it because I am secure enough to understand equilateral proportion, lack of wrinkles. I'm 42 years of age. I've lived homeless most of my adult life. I don't get paid the same as everyone else. And when somebody wants to harm me, all they got to do is say he's mentally ill. And they get away with it, and I don't get hurt. What they're doing is insinuating that I am schizophrenic or delusional. If that doesn't work, then they'll just outright tell people that I'm schizophrenic and delusional. It's called gaslighting. And see, that is something that you obviously do not have to deal with, Dan. This is something that you're not having to deal with hardcore like this. My best friend, Natalie Bollinger, was shot in the head after over a year of her and her friends making my life a living hell and me begging them to stop. And people hurting me. Me being cut off from my support network, from seeing my friends, from seeing my family. Being stuck with only the worst of the worst and being stuck having to communicate on Facebook and texting. People don't treat me very good, Dan. Now, here's the thing, is that you're literally making it our fault. See, this is something that gets used against us. When we try to explain the abuse that we're enduring, we get the, oh, well, were you wearing headphones? You should get some headphones. Hey, have you thought about getting headphones? Do you have any headphones? I have headphones. You know how many people have been shot by police in the United States just because they were wearing headphones? Did you know that police tase us and beat us for stimming here? Yes, we have to fucking apologize. If we can't hear the cop to apologize, we're fucking dead, stupid! Are you fucking stupid? Are you that goddamn sheltered, Dan? I have PTSD, and you're giving everyone an easy out to interrupt me. You know what the issue is, Dan? You understand that you have to script it in your head and hope that the other person doesn't interrupt you 100 times. Make it about them. Talk about them. Talk over us. You know, it's one thing when it just comes to having hangout friends or friends to talk shit with. But when you need somebody to be an actual fucking friend because you're being fucking abused. And you need them to help you turn it in right away. Because you're going to be ignored by the fucking police if you go in alone. Do you know what that's fucking like, Dan? My best friend was a drug addict. Here in the United States, there's so many people on fucking meth. There's so many people walking around going like this. By the way, I did those things like this and like this, and I went, when I was 7 years old. 7! That's how they found out I have Tourette syndrome. My family are a bunch of fucking drug addicts and child abusers. Are you fucking kidding me with this? Giving them all excuses. My whole family, all of them have stuff that can be considered a mental illness. My little sister and my older brother are so fucked up on methamphetamines. They don't know heads from fucking tails. My older brother's homeless in Boulder, Colorado. I'm homeless in Tillamook, Oregon, and you're in the UK. You're actually autistic in the same way as me. But you're not fucking abused the same way as me. You're making it our fault that we're abused, dude. Are you fucking kidding me? You're making it our fault. We have to script it because we're going to get talked over. And we have to try to stay on it because we have to think it through in our heads into a way that a fucking idiot can understand it. We have to figure out how to make it so fucking simple that a monkey can fucking understand it in 2 fucking sentences or less. How do you sum up 6 years of fucking abuse, 7 years of abuse, or in most of our cases, an entire life of abuse and neglect, being talked over, being told that it's our fault, being asked, did you wear headphones? Then you tell us not to apologize. Yes, I have to apologize for wearing headphones. Also, I'm homeless because of abuse, because of neglect, because of abuse by police, because of abuse by drug addicts. And who else is going to be fucking friends with me? I go like this, and I go, and I do this with my wrists. "96% of those killed by police in the United States are called mentally ill. Are men. About half our population are men. "61% of our population. 61% of our population are what? Who fucking knows? %61 of those shot by police or killed by police are homeless. 81% of those incarcerated were homeless when they were arrested. Bail just means that the police can find anybody that they want and fucking harm them. BLM is talking about a black woman who was in jail for 7 months over a misdemeanor because she couldn't bail herself out. And they push real heavy that it's because she was a black woman. It wasn't. It was because she was broke. She was easy to target and easy to victimize. Same as me, but I'm worse off because I'm homeless. Well, she has to worry about losing all of her stuff and becoming homeless, which is what happened. Nobody's going to speak for me. I'm not a woman. I'm not black. It's not popular. I'm still a white man, regardless of my disabilities. I am still a white man. I'm still homeless. I'm still disabled, but regardless of that, I am still a white man. Half our population are men. 96% of those killed by police are men. 0.18% of our population are homeless. 61% of those police killed last year. 61% were homeless. What are the chances of me running into an addict on the street? What are the chances I'm going to run into an addict in somebody's house? Not as good, because I'm not in somebody's house. But most of the people that I know in houses are either on drugs or alcohol. When they don't make time for you unless they're messed up on drugs or alcohol. And then they're not listening because they're on drugs or alcohol. And you give them an easy out. It's our fault. We're the ones with the communication issue. No, our communication issue is that they don't listen to us because we're different. We're honest. And that confuses neurotypicals because they're not. They'll tell any lie so they don't get in trouble. We'll fess up to shit we didn't do to fucking protect people. Big goddamn difference between them and us. And you're giving our predators an easy out. Come on.
I'm talking about 3 mistakes that autistic people make daily, right? And it's not their fault. Still, autistic people make these mistakes because they're unaware that they're making these mistakes, right? So, the first big mistake is not carrying headphones with you. Oh my goodness. Autistic people make the mistake of going outside and going to do laundry or grocery shopping or going to see their friends in the park and having to walk through a busy street and not take headphones with them. Number 2 is apologies. You make apologies and you apologize for your issues. Now, what I mean by this is autistic people may
I'm hurtful.
They're stimming or they may have a tick, and then people on the autistic spectrum may apologize for these actions, which is completely ludicrous. You don't apologize for who you are. Okay, so number 3 is forcing through with uncomfortable situations.
We'll get killed if we don't.
Goodness. Have you any idea how many autistic people do this on a daily basis? I'm talking about 3.
We have to. I have to follow through on uncomfortable situations, all right? When you're autistic in America, you're an easy fucking target. An easy target. The majority of autistic people in the United States have attempted suicide, dude. Because autistic people are not fucking heard, even if we're able to speak. And even you allow women to hijack that from us, the ones who are actually taking the abuse. Many of our predators are women who take advantage of our good nature and our honesty. Many of these women are drug addicts and alcoholics, while males are told that it's almost impossible to diagnose an autistic person later in life. The majority of girls diagnosed later in life were not autistic, first of all. They hit the wall. They did too many drugs and too much alcohol, and it was free to them because they were pretty. It's amazing how many almost supermodels, after 3 years of drugs, years and years of free drugs, free alcohol, of course with expectations. But the thing is, do we stop to pay attention to the issues that specifically male autistic people have to face? 85% of those who are homeless in the United States, 85% are male. A high percentage of us homeless because we're disabled, because we're easy to take advantage of. Many of the things that you speak up about, that's fine. But the majority of it, you're always trying to make apologies. This is what you're doing to screw us over. You make it our fault for not carrying headphones. Then autistic people, it's magically their fault because of headphones. This is what I live in. I live in clutter. I got a bunch of evidence in here. I got it all over the place. I have bills up the ass. And my disability money is often spent having to pay people who are predatory or bounce around in circles to different agencies that aren't going to help me because I don't have a friend or family member helping me. I don't have a friend or family member who gives a shit, dude. You have any idea how many of us are beaten daily by police? Being autistic just means they get to call us mentally ill and pretend that we're schizophrenic. What the fuck are you talking about, man? You know, it's the same thing in the UK. You're fucking lucky is what you are. I wish that I had someone to help me set up this electronic shit, who would actually take the time to understand that I literally can't do anything. I'm fucked. When you talk about being shut down, that's great. But are you helping us to turn that in when we're harmed? Are you pointing out Elon Musk, the Messiah? He isn't our fucking Messiah. Another restricted call. Dan, dude. When it comes to domestic abuse, the reason that the internet is fucking swamped with abuse against women is because abuse against men is fucking ignored. Men are fucking abused by both men and women for trying to get help. You piece of shit. And then you give them excuses to do it to highly intelligent people. You make it our fault as if we don't know that we're doing it. I know I have Tourette syndrome. That's why I apologize before I wink at somebody on accident. I have to apologize for my fucking predators in the hopes that they'll acknowledge the things that they fucking did and stop. Instead, I'm treated like I'm a schizophrenic or delusional person. Here's another restricted call. Hundreds of them, Dan, because my friend Natalie Bollinger was shot in the head. Nobody tries to see my side. Nobody tries to listen to my side. I have to go to drug addicts and alcoholics for help. People who are entertained by web sleuth bullshit like Shannon Alvarado. These people wanted to have a fucking drama war on fucking Facebook. I needed help turning in actual harm against me in person. God damn it, dude. Stop adding fuel to the fire. Every time you make a video like this, Every time you make one of these, what you're doing is making excuses for our predators by making it our fault that we are abused to the point that we fucking have to do desperate shit. Look up the name Natalie Bollinger, and I want you to think for a moment about how nicely you think I'm being treated. How much actual help am I going to be getting? How many people are just going to talk over me and dismiss me? Look at the statistics, asshole. Thank you for making, finally, a couple of videos where you don't talk about your merch. I can't take care of myself. I can't ask for help because I'm just going to be harmed for doing so. And I've got evidence overwhelming of that. How about stop making excuses for all of us? How about stop making it our fault for all of us? I'm in the United States, Dan. I'm also homeless, Dan. I also don't have a friend or family member that I can go to that actually gives a rat's ass. More harassing fucking phone calls. Thanks. Thanks for not understanding. The cops, my friends, and my family ignored me until Natalie Bollinger was dead. All of them blew me off and sent me on to somebody else, and legally it is these people's jobs to help me to put a stop to this, not to take advantage of me and make me spend all of my resources jumping around in circles for no good goddamn reason. I've been physically abused a lot, dude. I've been sexually abused. I have no longer got the ability to physically take care of myself. And Dan, do you know how many autistic people worldwide are begging for assisted suicide to be legal in their country? Here in the United States, we're all begging for it. Please stop forcing us to live like this, please. We're not human beings to you, god damn it. And we got assholes like Dan whose advocacy is giving our predators excuses.